In this video, I'm going to show you how to change the front disc brakes on a 2007 Chrysler Town & Country. Got the vehicle jacked up, chalked up, got the tire off, and now we're looking at the front disc brake. These brakes, they've had better days. So they're pretty low and they're squeaky. So I'm going to get these off, replaced, and get this cleaned up. You are going to need, what is this? A 12 millimeter and a 21 millimeter. Okay, I just took off my big bolts from the caliper. This was the 21 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and take the caliper off with the brake assembly and set it on top. You wanna be careful when you're setting it up here that you don't let it drop and fall and snag on the brake line, or you're gonna have a big mess on your hands. Actually ended up not using my smaller size, my 12 millimeter, which would go right here on the inner part of the caliper, since I was able to get this off without having to loosen that section up. I got the Duralast Gold replacement brakes. I like these because they come with the replacement hardware. So I already did the other side. So this is the new inner and outer brakes with the replacement hardware, not that. So these are my 4 clips and then my 2 pads. These are my old pads and my old clips are inside right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and get everything out. All right, I got my 2 pads and all my old clips. Got those off. Gonna set those to the side. So inside of this caliper, you're gonna see that there's a piston right here. That piston expands and decompresses based off of the brake fluid pressure that's inside of the system. We need to push this piston and squish it up because our new pads that we're gonna have are gonna be a lot larger than the old ones. So we need more space. Best way to do that, get the old brake pad and position it right up against it, and then get a C-clamp like this and start to twist it and tighten it up. Okay, and as I twist this, it's compressing that piston. Okay, that is fully compressed. So I'm gonna back off this C-clamp now and then get this pad out of here. All right, next step, you can see this is filthy, so I'm going to get this cleaned up. You can use any kind of cleaner. This is what we have in the shop, so I'll be using this up. Pretty close to being empty, so I might use the whole thing. All right, places I'm specifically focusing on cleaning where my clips are gonna go, in these movable points here, and then on the back of that piston right there that's gonna be pushing up and down and moving. And then any moving part, I just wanted to get debris out of there and cleaned up. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and position my clips. I do wanna show you something about the clip though. This is what the clip looks like. 2 differences. One side is flat, one side has a tab on one side. The tab needs to be on the outside of the brake. It can't be on the inside of the brake. So you're gonna wanna have the flat side towards the inside. Next, if you look at the edge, there's a big tab, a big top and a little top. The big top is gonna be on the upper side when it's positioned like this. So here's an example. I want the flat side and the big top to go right here. And here's what I mean. You can see that the tab is on the outside, and you can see that the big part of the big upper side is on the top, so the brake can slide in easily. You want the flat side on the inside. So I'm gonna go ahead and put all 4 in. Okay, so flat side is on the inside with the big tab on top. Flat side on the inside, big tab on top, and so on for all pieces. Okay, next step, I'm gonna get some of this high temperature grease and I'm gonna put it inside of each of the tabs, but only in the tabs. Grease has been applied on the inside of each tab. Next, you'll look at both of your brakes. You'll notice they look the same, except for one of them has this metal piece crimped onto the edge of it. This is called your squealer. This is what notifies you whenever your brake pads are about half the size, and it's ready for them to change. The reason why it notifies you is because it's the one that sits right here on your rotor, and then as your brake pad wears down and it shrinks, it will start to scratch on this, and it'll let you know. That's what squeaky brakes are from in most cases. It could also be from these moving parts having rocks stuck in them, or just junk and getting all dirty the way these brakes were. So orient yourself. This is going to be on the non-piston side, and then the flat one is going to be on the side that gets pushed with the piston. So the side that gets pushed with the piston, the piston is going to push right here. I'm going to use some of this stuff. This is called Disc Brake Quiet. Very creative. So I'll put this on. I don't know if I'm using too much, but whenever I use that much, I don't have issues. So I always use that much. Gonna let that sit and harden for a few minutes. Okay, time to get this situated. I always start with the piston side brake. And then I put some of this stuff on the outer brake pad as well. Not on the brake lining, of course, just where there's going to be contact. Okay, now that everything's situated, I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper back onto the rotor. Sometimes if things don't line up, you got to force it to. So you can just get a hammer and you can kind of tap a little bit right here and right here to shift things around. And you want this brake pad all the way up against that piston. So now I'm good. Mine wasn't before. And you want to have as big of an opening right here as you can so that your rotor can fit right there. So once you're lined up like that, you'll go ahead and grab your rotor, and now it fits. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead and drop the camera and get one of these bolts in. Okay, next step is get your bolts back in. 1 and 2 down there. Get those tightened up. All right, I got everything tightened up. Time to do some cleanup. All right, and that's how you change the front disc brakes on this 2007 Chrysler Town & Country. Hope that was helpful for you. Good luck on your project.